If you've been watching Antigua's property market and wondering whether now is actually the right time to buy or whether it's better to wait, then this one's for you. Because timing does matter, and in a market that's moving the way Antigua's is right now, getting it wrong in either direction has real consequences. I'm Carly from Luxury Locations, and I've watched it through the quiet years and the boom years. And honestly, what I'm seeing on the ground in 2026 is unlike anything I've seen before. So today, I want to give you my honest take, where the market actually is, what's driving it, and what is coming, and whether now is genuinely the right time to buy, or whether the people telling you to wait might actually have a point. And if you'd like to talk it through for your own situation, there's a link below to book a call with me or my team. So let's get into it. Where the Antigua market actually is right now. Let me give you the honest ground level picture. The market is active and tightening at the top and steady at the entry level. It's not a frenzy, I'd never tell you that. But the prime and beachfront stock is genuinely thin. The demand from American, British, and ultra high net worth buyers is real, and the whole thing feels firm and rising. In the key areas, Jolly Harbour, English Harbour, the East Coast, prime locations have moved up around 5% a year since 2019. Well-priced homes are going in under 90 days, and the really good ones are in a matter of weeks. For the Caribbean, that's fast. Inventory is the real story. Quality beachfront and good 3 or 4 bedroom rental homes are tight. There's more choice at the entry and apartment end, but the product everyone actually wants is in short supply. And the entry and premium ends aren't moving at the same pace. The premium and branded product is moving fast. A lot of that is the Nikki Beach launch and the citizenship demand. The entry level is steadier, more of a normal market. Are people genuinely buying? Yes, and here's something I'd want you to know. Nobody's buying blind. Everyone comes in and visits before they purchase. So when a client flies out to view, you already know they're serious. These are real buyers, not window shoppers. The one thing people outside Antigua don't realise is how much moves off-market. We have a lot of off-market properties. When something comes on at the right price, or we already know we've got the buyer for it, we'll often send it to our client list before it even goes to market, because we already know who it's for. So if you register with us, you get the first pick of what's coming. And honestly, whether it's us or someone else, it's a good idea to build a relationship with an agent. Because if we don't find the right thing on your first visit, that's not the end of it. We just keep looking for you, and you're first in line when it lands. What's driving prices and demand? Honestly, a lot of what's changed comes down to one thing. The global branding of Nikki Beach Antigua has always been a bit of a secret. When my clients tell their friends they're buying here, the first question is almost always, where's Antigua? A name like Nikki Beach changes that overnight. It puts us on the map in a way nothing else has. And the second question is always why. And there are so many answers to that, but the strongest one right now is Plan B. People are simply looking for options, and when you have options, you feel a little more settled. There's a lot of instability in the world at the moment, and not only from politics or war. There's AI, there's uncertainty everywhere. I think people just want to know they've got options and a place where their family can be happy and safe. That's a powerful, very human reason to buy. The tax profile adds to that. There's no income tax, as it was abolished here in 2016, and there's no capital gains tax and no inheritance tax. For people moving wealth out of higher tax countries, that's a real pull on its own. The buyer mix right now is something I genuinely love. Americans are the biggest buyers at the moment, and Canadians right alongside them. But the Brits are still very strong, and we're getting genuine clients from all over Europe. It's such an incredible mix of nationalities, and that's wonderful for the island. There's also a real shift from Dubai. A lot of people who were buying in Dubai are now looking at Antigua for something different, a different kind of investment, a different pace of life. And we're told that direct flights from there are coming soon, which will only add to it. Underneath all of that, citizenship by investment is a steady floor under the market. The 300,000 approved real estate route keeps a constant pool of buyers for approved homes, and that American Plan B demand is layering on top. It's not the whole market, but it never lets the bottom fall out. And then there's land, which matters more now than it used to. Antigua isn't making any more beachfront. As the branded developments take up the prime sites, that scarcity quietly reprices everything around them. The driver people aren't really talking about yet is the wave of brands arriving. Nikki Beach, Rosewood and Barbuda, Nobu and the Marriott. When global names plant a flag, they don't just build a resort, they reprice the whole area around them. That's building quietly now, and in 2 or 3 more years, it will be obvious to everyone. What's coming? Development, infrastructure, and demand shift. Let's talk about what's actually coming, because that's really what timing is about. The residences at Nikki Beach on Jolly Beach is a $400 million development, with sales opening in 2026 and completing in 2029. A branded and citizenship-approved development. The long-anticipated one and only at Half Moon Bay on a beautiful 132-acre site beside a national park. Our own Oasis collection at Harbour Island, and then Rosewood Barbuda, the Nobu Beach Inn, a Marriott, and a Moongate Hotel and Spa. That's a remarkable pipeline for an island this size. And when a flagship brand lands, the pattern is always the same. It lifts the whole area, it validates the location, it brings amenities and more flights, and it reprices the land around it. The buyers who do best are the ones who buy near a confirmed brand before it even opens, not after. The infrastructure is moving right alongside it. The airport is in the middle of a runway rehabilitation and expansion. A new $30 million cruise terminal opened in early 2026. Barbuda has a brand new airport, and the air route keeps opening up. Better access means more rental demand and an easier journey for owners. The tourism numbers back the feeling up. The first quarter of 2026 brought close to 111,000 stayover visitors, up nearly 7% on the year, with the UK up 14%. Cruise arrivals are expected to rise more than 20%, and visitors spent close to $900 million in 2024. Rising tourism is rising rental demand. That's the engine underneath your yield. And the one a lot of buyers haven't got on their radar yet, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting here in Antigua this November. Thousands of delegates and global media in the same window as our 45th independence anniversary, and the first one ever to include a concert and a cricket tournament. That's a global spotlight on Antigua at exactly the moment the market is tightening. If I had to point out one thing that makes the timing argument really land, it's the Nikki Beach pricing branded residences from around 1.2 million set a new benchmark for the island. And once branded products sell at that level, it tends to pull the whole market up with it. Buying ahead of that is the window. If the timing picture is starting to make sense and you want to know what it means for your budget, your goals, and your situation, that's precisely the conversation that my team have every day. There's a link below to book a call, and we'll give you an honest read on where the best opportunities are right now and what the window really looks like for you. The honest counterpart. What would make now not a good time? Now let me give you that side that most people selling an Antigua property won't, because there are genuine reasons to wait. If your funds aren't really ready, if you haven't done your due diligence, if you'd be stretching to do it, or if you're buying on excitement rather than the fundamentals. In any of these cases, patience is the kinder, smarter move. There are real risks to understand too. Liquidity. Resale can be slow if you've bought the wrong product. The upfront costs, around 10 to 15% on top for a foreign buyer. The climate and what hurricane season does to insurance, and the island's reliance on tourism, which ties us to what's happening in the wider world. And let's be clear-eyed about the global picture. Antigua is exposed to global wealth flows, the US and UK conditions, interest rates, and the sentiment at the top end. A serious downturn cools the premium market. We're not immune to what happens everywhere else. On the citizenship side, here's the honest position, and I'd always rather you hear it from me. In 2025, the EU signalled it's reviewing visa-free access for citizenship programmes. But what I'd really want you to know is that the Caribbean islands are actively raising their due diligence and their processing to keep those countries satisfied. So yes, do keep an eye on final positions because they can shift. But the region is working hard to protect that access, not standing still. There's also a US measure from early 2026 affecting new US visas for Antigua nationals, with existing visas honoured. So if your whole case rests on the passport, travel access, just go in with your eyes open. So who should genuinely wait? The buyer who'd be overstretching, the one hoping for a quick flip, and the passport-only buyer who hasn't factored in those reviews. For those people, this honestly isn't the moment. And what would personally make me say, actually hold on, a sharp global recession, a confirmed change that genuinely guts the passport's value, or a buyer sitting with me who has no clear exit and no rental plan. Short of those, I stand by the case I'm making. My honest take on timing. So here's my honest, unhedged answer. For the right buyer, yes, now. The supply is tight, the brands are arriving, the demand is genuinely rising, and the pre-branded pricing won't last. That's not a sales line, it's just what Luxury Locations has watched over 20 years. The specific window is the gap between announcement and delivery. Nikki Beach sells in 2026, but doesn't complete until 2029. You can still buy ahead of the repricing that branded completion will bring. 6 months ago, there was less of this in the market. 6 months from now, there'll be more of it already priced in. We're in the sweet spot right now. Buying before the market moves has a real meaning here. It's prime and beachfront and pre-construction in proven locations. Jolly Harbour, English Harbour, Hodges Bay, and anything near a confirmed brand. Those are the time-sensitive ones. And to anyone that tells me they want to wait and see, I'd say this gently. Waiting is a position, not a strategy. In a market this tight, you're not waiting for a lower price. You're waiting while the best homes sell to somebody else. So just be honest with yourself about what you're really waiting for. The one thing I'd want serious buyers to understand is that this is a selection market, not a timing market. Getting the right home in the right place matters so much more than catching the perfect month. The people who do well here choose well. They don't try to catch a low wave that honestly isn't there. Who should be buying right now and who should wait? This is genuinely the right time for a particular kind of buyer. Funds ready, a clear goal, whether that's lifestyle, a passport or income, a sense of your exit and eyes open about the climate and the cost. If that's you, I'd be moving now, not next year. And if it's the wrong time for you, if you're not financially ready, if you haven't done the homework, or if you're buying on a hype or passport only, then you haven't priced in the policy side. Then wait. There's no shame in patience when the pieces aren't in place. On how citizenship changes the time in question, it works both ways. Citizenship demand is a steadying floor, and the rising American Plan B interest strengthens the case for approved homes. But if the passport's travel value is your single reason, then those reviewing mean you should go in fully informed. The property case and the passport case are related, but they're not quite the same case. The difference between a buyer who's ready and one that only thinks they are shows up quickly. The ready buyer has the funds, the goals, and the exit. The not quite ready buyer has a feeling and a property portal tab open. And a good agent will tell you kindly and honestly which one you are. So the one question I'd ask yourself before you decide is, if the passport's value never improved from here, would I still be happy owning this home? If the answer is yes, then buy. If the answer is no, wait and rethink what you're really buying. The Antigua market in 2026 isn't waiting for anyone. The developments are coming, the demand is building, and the window that's open right now won't look the same in 2 years. Whether now is your time, that depends entirely on you. But let's say the timing is right for you. The next question is the fun one. Where exactly do you need to put your money? Which location, which kind of property, which price point, and how do you balance return against lifestyle? We made a whole video exactly on that. If I had $1 million to invest in Antigua right now, here's precisely what we do with it. The locations, the property, the types, the citizenship angle, and the honest rethinking behind every decision. If the timing makes sense for you, that's the one to watch next, right here.